Hello, everybody. This is Judith from EIT Urban Mobility. Welcome to the info webinar on the targeted call topic release 3. In the next 45 minutes, we will talk about topic 3 of this release called city buses and GSR2 compliance. Today, I will present this webinar with my colleague Laura. Just to start, I would like to mention that you are being recorded and that this recording will be available on our call webpage and also on our YouTube channel. In case you have any questions during this session, feel free to put these questions in the Q&A section of this of the Teams. You can see it at the top. So for now, let's start. So what are we going to speak about today? So firstly, I would like to give you a bit of information on the context in which this topic will be funded, what is the targeted program about and the specific goal. Then I will explain you on the scope of this topic, specifically what would we like to fund as a targeted program as part of this topic. Then Laura will take over and she's going to explain you the details on the application process and the evaluation process. And then I will take over again and I will give you a little sneak peek into how it will look like once your project is selected and awarded. Okay, and then the last 15 minutes of the meeting will be for you to ask questions if you have any. So what is the targeted call? The targeted call is the instrument of our targeted program. The targeted program is one of the programs of the innovation department at EIT Urban Mobility. The targeted program complements the main innovation call, which is our annual open call. And the targeted program was set up in January this year to address certain things that could not be addressed by the main innovation call. So firstly, we saw that as part of the innovation project and the project submissions that we received, they did not always cover all the thematics and technologies and even countries and regions that we would like to have included in our portfolio. So the targeted program is about identifying these topics and these gaps and to frame them in topics and to make sure or try to get them addressed by a good quality project. Then also apart from the gaps in innovation project portfolio, the targeted program also allows us to identify and address market failures, to quickly respond to emerging technologies and trends, and also other external events such as policy and regulation changes. Okay, so in general, this framework allows us to identify certain things and to quickly launch a topic to try to address them as quickly as possible, as compared to the main innovation call that has almost a cycle of 8 months to a year. So that's the framework that this topic is funded by. So in terms of the requirements of the project, it's really not that different of the main innovation call. We are focused on projects with a TRL that starts around 6, 7, and that ends, of course, in a marketable innovation. So that's the mandatory KPI that is also covered by the main innovation call. That's TRL 8, 9. And depending on the topic and the type of project we would like to fund, the budget and timeline might differ. But overall, we can say that the projects that we fund through the targeted are smaller than the main innovation call, so it's between 250 and 350K per project, EIT funding, and an average of maximum 12 months, 9 to 12 months projects. Okay. The only difference is that the targeted call is a permanently open call. So the call is always open, but we launch topics regularly. And then each topic will always get a minimum of 2 months that it's open for applicants to apply. Also, these topics will always be published and communicated about. So it's basically a rolling call. So always keep your eyes open for new topics to be released. So we identified certain gaps or technologies or whatever, and then the topic is released. So that's the idea of the targeted call. And the only difference for you is that, of course, the topics are much more defined and scoped as compared to a general main innovation call, in which the scope is very broad and you can basically apply with any, well, most, as long as it reaches the strategic objective of EIT mobility and the challenge areas. Okay, so that's the framework. What I also would like to emphasize is the targeted program, not so different as a main innovation call, but even more emphasized and targeted, is that we are really looking for commercially viable projects. So this call is mainly open for industry partners, startups and SMEs, and then of course, depending on the technology, cities as demonstration sites. I put industries in green because from 2024 and 5, we will focus more and more on industry. Again, a bit of context. This is the 3rd edition of the topic releases. There were 2 before this year. So since the program opened in January, we had the first launch of topics, or the release of topics, in February, in which we looked for projects for waterborne mobility, which was an identified portfolio gaps. We didn't have any projects in waterborne mobility yet in our portfolio. And there was a market failure that we addressed as well, which is the democratization of large-scale ICT solution of public transport operators in risk countries. So these were 2 topics. In June, we had 2 other topics: healthy cities, which was also portfolio gap, and a market failure, which is stimulating the demand of hydrogen, so use cases basically. So also 2 topics in June. For all 4 of these topics, we already have allocated funding to projects. And now it's the 3rd edition, in which we launched 5 topics that you can see here described. So this specific topic on the new vehicle general safety regulation and city buses is only one of the 5 topics that we will fund as part of this edition of the targeted call. We aim to fund between 5 and 8 projects, so at least 1 per topic. For this specific topic, we will only fund 1. And the funding is always between 250 and 600K. Only for the hydrogen topic, we have higher budget because of the type of funding this type of technologies require often. And in general, we have 2.5 million for this topic release, so for all 5 topics combined. So this is a bit the context. Finally, the timeline. So this 3rd topic release happened the 14th of December. We are now the 20th, which is the info webinars. And then the closing of this topics is on the 22nd of February. So this is approximately 10 weeks. So we say actually it's officially 8 weeks plus 2, because we know for Christmas people might be offered 2 weeks. So we made it a bit longer. And then if you include the evaluation process and the standstill periods in which contracts are signed and in which the negotiations and the condition clearance happens, we could say that the project start tentatively in April and May. So I hope that the context of this topic is a bit clear. So now I would like to move to the topic scope itself, in which I will give you a bit of explanation of why we are focused on this topic, what the topic is, what type of tasks we will fund, and what we expect the outcomes are. So, in one phrase, what we would like to fund? We are looking for a project consortium that is able to develop or further develop and commercialize a comprehensive advanced driver assistance system specifically for city buses. If I say comprehensive, I will go to the next slide to give a bit more information on why we are funding this. So I don't know if you've heard of the Vision Zero of Europe, but it's basically the aim of the objective of Europe to reach 0 deaths on the road by 2050. And as part of this Vision Zero, one of the things that was developed is the Vehicle General Safety Regulation that was implemented in 2022 and applied to all new vehicles that will be registered up from July 2024 onwards. So this regulation applies to almost all types of vehicles, including city buses that are treated as a separate category with specific requirements for automatic driver assistant features. So the regulation in general is about making vehicles safer by having mandatory driver assistance function or automatic driver assistance functionalities. So for buses specifically, we can talk, for instance, about the detection of pedestrians and cyclists, type of technologies that do that, or technologies that give advanced alerts for driver distraction. So this is a bit the relevance, and the issue that we have seen is that, of course, the larger OEMs, they build these type of technologies in-house, but there is a big part of the market which are smaller or mid-sized bus manufacturers that might not have have limited resources to build these kind of technologies in-house, and they need it from a third party. And they need to integrate these technologies and homologate their buses together with these external technologies. So we would like to, with this call, we would like to address this market gap and to help these type of bus manufacturers, especially the one in risk countries that we consider as less innovative, to comply with these regulations and stay competitive as well. So what are the tasks that we found as part of this project? We would like the project consortium this is what I said before, to develop and market this ADAS technology and reach for all functionalities TRL 9. We want, as part of the project, that this ADAS technology gets integrated in a bus, and that it's demonstrated together with an end client, so a bus manufacturer, and that together with this end client that they do testing of the technology as part of the bus, and to gather the right data and evaluate how the technology is actually working, to make sure that the technology is actually capable of abiding by this strict regulations, and to be able to go through homologation in the future with the bus manufacturer. We would like, as part of the projects, that a third party, a credible, reputable third party, certifies this technology, and we want to see proof of that. And that is all the kind of activities that come to the next task, is to prepare the bus manufacturer for homologation for the timeline of the regulation. And lastly, a task should be to develop a realistic scale-up plan. What I mean with that is that once this regulation is in place, there will be an increasing demand by bus manufacturing for this type of technology, and we want the company to be able to actually produce and manufacture these technologies, and we want to see a plan that this is actually feasible. So how they foresee to do the upscaling of the production of their technology and the manufacturing and distribution of their technology to actually reach demand. The requirements are pretty linked to the task. So we want the solution to be compliant with regulation. That means that it needs to include all the different technologies that are mandatory by the regulation. And if possible, additional safety features that might not be mandatory by the regulation, but is, for instance, a technology that is very much demanded by bus manufacturers for other reasons, just for safety reasons, or maybe even future upgrades already of the new vehicle general safety regulation. Then another requirement of solution is what I said before, external certification, and the integration, the easy prove that the integration and retrofitting of this technology is easy for all types of bus models and bus types. Another requirement of the project that we require the project to demonstrate with the end client, which is the bus manufacturer, and that there is the scale-up plan ready. Who can apply to this topic? So we want this to be a small project that only goes to the core. So maximum 2 partners, but these 2 partners, like any European project, needs to come from at least 2 member states or associated countries. We want them to come from risk-eligible countries, and that the commercial, there are 2 partners. One should be the commercial partner, so the technology partner, and then the end client, so a bus manufacturer, as the technology integrator and demonstrating partner. Very important. The world of OEMs is, of course, not easy to get clients, so we want to be sure that the technology provider or the commercial partner has an existing track record and can prove that they have past relationship with OEMs, and more importantly, that there is a proof that the technology that they are building, the ADAS technology, that there are interested clients, or at least clients that they are in contact with, okay? We want tangible evidence for that as part of the mandatory documents that need to be delivered as part of the specific topic. And examples are letters of intent, even better, former invoices and purchase orders. The topic budget and duration. So it's a project of EIT funding 300,000 euros with a minimum funding of 20%. It's lower than the usual 33% because it's a risk budget. It is a risk project, so it's funded through the risk scheme. So the minimum budget of the project is 380. I wrote 320, but it's 380. And we will only fund 1 project under this topic. The project duration is 12 months. And the mandatory KPIs is what I mentioned before, is a marketed innovation, which is basically means that you can prove as part of the project that you reach TRL 9 with your solution, and that you even have already commercial activity as part of the project, and you can prove an invoice of 10,000 euros. And with tested engineering innovation, that's a new KPI that we introduced, which is it has to do with that you demonstrate your solution in real life operation. In this case is to integrate your solution in the bus, and you test the technology as part of the bus, basically. So the last thing I would like to say about the topic is that we included in the evaluation questions this question that will be evaluated by evaluators as part of whether it fits the topic or not. It's very important that you answer this question very thoroughly, and we would like to understand how your solution assists bus manufacturer, especially our target group, which is smaller and mid-sized entities, in achieving timely compliance with the new vehicle general safety regulation for city buses by incorporating the mandatory feature. So we want to understand from you, from all the aspects, how ready your solution is, how you assist these bus manufacturers to homologate, whether your solution is certified, etc. How you will help them to comply with this regulation. So I hope I gave you some more clarity on the topic scope. So we'll now give the floor to Laura, who will give you a bit more information about the application and evaluation process. Oops.
Thank Wait.
Excellent.
We love.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's move on to the application process itself, how to register and submit your proposal. let's start with some recommendations for you before entering before submitting the proposal. Basically, we recommend to do some pre-application steps. The first one would be for the entities that are new to European funding, that has never asked for any European funding or participated in any European project. In this case, you need to go to the European Funding and Tender Opportunities portal to get a PIC number. This PIC number is a number that will allow you not only to participate in a EIT project, but to participate in any kind of European project or any kind of project with European funds. That takes a while from the moment you ask until you get the number. So we recommend to do it as soon as possible. Also, we recommend to do something similar with the Plaza tool. The Plaza tool is the submission platform that we provide to you in the EIT Urban Mobility to submit the proposal. So we recommend to do this first step first. We will soon publish some guidelines for applicants to help you during this process, but they are not yet available, but it will be soon. So when you enter into the submission application, this is what you see, these different 7 tabs. So it is important, well, in these tabs, you are going to be asked to fulfill it with the project itself, the project plan, the milestone, deliverables, KPIs, risk management plan, etc. Budget. But it is important to remark that in the first tab, the 0 start here, it is important that to highlight that the area must be innovation for this project. The intended execution period is permanently open targeted call, and the segment must be permanently open targeted call first cutoff, because this is the first time that we are doing this. The duration of the project must be at maximum of 12 months, and usually will be from April 1st next year until the end of March of the following year. Let me highlight some of the information that we are asking in the tab 3B of the project-specific info. Here we are asking some general questions in terms of the targeted team, like how the proposal is the state of the art, things like that. That's a general question for this specific proposal in this targeted framework program. After the general questions, you will find different questions related to the topics. You will see for topic 1, for topic 2, for topic 3, etc. So in this case, just forget about the other topics. You need to answer only the one related to this topic. In this case is topic 3, which says, please explain how the solution effectively aid bus manufacturers, etc. The question that Judith presented before. So you need to answer this, and the other topics for topic 1, 2, 4, and 5, just you can put no applicable, and that's it. You don't have to answer those. Also, in case you want to upload some additional files like data or intents or something like that, you can do it here too in this tab 3B for project specific info. You can put all the mandatory documents related to your topic or anything you want to add. Finally, I want to give you some tips to go through this submission procedure. First of all, please don't wait until the last moment to get the PIC number and the Plaza registration, because as I said before, it takes some time to be done. Second, please double check the topic eligibility criteria and the eligibility criteria in general, like the KPIs, the minimum that you are putting the minimum co-funding, that the consortium it has the minimum number of partners required, that not exceed the maximum, etc. Also, we recommend you to read the strategic fit and the evaluation criteria. This is published in the call manual in our website. The evaluation criteria, and if you know how are we going to evaluate the project, I think it can help you to write a better proposal. So if you know how it's going to be evaluated, you can fit the proposal better. And finally, don't forget to answer this topic-specific evaluating question that we have mentioned before, because it's one of the requirements that is going to be evaluated, and it's going to be mandatory to pass to the next step. Now let's move on into the evaluation process. I will explain a little bit how the process goes and how what kind of projects are going to be awarded. So this evaluation process will take around a month. Once the topic is closed, by the end of February, we will start this process of evaluation that it takes around a month until more or less the end of March. So first of all, our project management officer will check the eligibility of the proposal in terms of everything is complete, if the applicants are eligible, if the co-funding rate is at least 33%, and all the topic-related eligibility requirements like the number of SMEs or the number of partners. Don't worry if something is missing, because the PMO will contact you in case something is missing or some information is not clear in terms of eligibility, of course. So you have 5 days to fill in the missing parts. Then, when the validity is done, we move to the strategic fit. In this stage, there will be 3 external evaluators that will evaluate how this proposal fits into the EIT Urban Mobility strategy and also how they fit in this specific topic and how it answers the question of the direct related topic question that we mentioned before. So for these 3 criteria, the evaluators will need to give at least 3 points out of 5 to move into the next step. The next step is the full evaluation that will be done also by these external experts. And they will evaluate the excellence of the proposal in terms of especially technology, how the novelty of the technology versus the state of the art. They will also evaluate the impact of the proposal in terms of KPIs and outcomes, and also communication and exploitation plans. They will also evaluate the implementation of the project itself, like how coherent and effective is the project plan, if the consortium has defined clear roles and they are complementary to each other. And this part of the evaluation has a weight of 80%. So if the full evaluation has a score of at least 60 points, it will move into the portfolio selection. In this portfolio selection, there is a selection committee formed by people from the management board of the EIT Urban Mobility, and they can give up to 20 points to the different proposals. In this case, what they are going to evaluate is how this proposal is aligned with the EIT portfolio. They're going to evaluate also the track record of the entities involved in the project. So if everything goes well, then we have a ranking, and then the best projects are going to be funded. Don't worry if any of the projects are not funded, but they arrive until this point, they will go to a reservation list. It's kind of a waiting list, more or less. So these projects are still able for funding in case, obviously, we get some additional funding, or, for example, if one of the projects that one of the winning projects don't make it till the end, because after this, when we have the winning project, let's say we start like a small process of negotiation, due diligence between 2-4 weeks. So maybe one of those don't make it. And that's it. And now I'll give the floor again to Judith, that will explain what are the next steps once the project is awarded.
Thank you, Laura. So once your project is awarded and selected, what can you expect? So firstly, as you might know, each of our projects, we expect a return of investment, a future return of investment for all our funded projects, which we call the financial sustainable mechanism that will help the EIT Mobility to become financially sustainable themselves and allow us to fund future projects. So that means that each project has to identify at least one commercial partner. I mean, the name says it themselves. The commercial partners are responsible for the commercial activities in the project and beyond the project, and they are responsible for the FSM. This identification of the commercial partner you can easily make in your proposal. There is a partner section there, and there is also a section that is called sustainability, in which you will identify the commercial partner. This commercial partner will be responsible for FSM, which means that they will contribute through the financial sustainability mechanism. And depending on the type of commercial partner and other conditions, the commercial partner together with those sales enablement team will negotiate the perfect FSM for the type of project and for them. Here you can see the different types of partners. I will not go too much into detail now, but basically, for instance, if you are a startup and we already have equity in you as EIT Mobility, you will be type B partner, the equity portfolio partner. If as part of the project you will spin off a certain company, then that company might become the commercial partner. And if not in both cases, you will just be called a general commercial partner. And depending on these types, we will discuss a different FSM model with you that is ideal for you, but also for us. And the type of equities, what might be FSMs might be equity, it might be revenue share, it can be many different things. But these things are discussed only once the project is allocated. So at this stage, it's only important that you are clear on who the commercial, or maybe there are multiple commercial partners are, and all of these discussions will happen from the moment your project is selected. Yeah. So that's the first thing to expect. The second thing is all partners of the project, so all consortium partners, will be required to become a member of the EIT Urban Mobility. You have different levels of partnership with different benefits and services. But you can check on the website more about it. Of course, if you are a commercial partner contributing to the FSM, then the membership fee is adapted. So, but it's just important for you to know that as soon as you get your project funded, you will be asked to become a member. Okay, so your project is selected. So the first steps are pretty clear. The partner validation, so you're onboarding as a member and as a project partner. You will have to sign some legal documents such as a declaration of honor, your financial support agreement, so the agreement that have to do with you receiving the funds, and the commercial agreement have to do with the FSM mechanism. This is an agreement only for the commercial partner and us. Then you have the project implementation, of course, in which you will develop your solution and you will demonstrate it, in this case with the bus manufacturer. And then throughout the project, you will get a project officer that will monitor your project, will of course also support you, and will visit your demonstration. The final step of the project, and of course you're working the whole project on, is you will report on your project, you will deliver on your final outputs and deliverables, and on your KPIs. That is of course very broadly speaking, but then you have a bit of an overview. So you can see in the next slide, there is my email address. Questions will pop up in the next 2 months once you actually start developing your proposal. You can send me an email anytime. Every time I receive a question and my answer is not yet represented in the call manual or in the annex with the topic descriptions, we will publish the question and answer on the webpage so that everybody has the same level of information. So we wish you a very nice afternoon and also holidays. That's it. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.